Hi everyone. This is our demo for CMU course 18749, and our project uh, is a website that the users can use to code on that platform. As you can see, this is the UI, and also um, there are multiple servers. So in this project, we currently have two different servers with some schemes for the fault tolerance. So now let's start. So our tasks here, the first one is that we need to have the replications. So in our project, we have two replications for the servers, and we will show that. And this one is that we need to have the fault detection with visible heartbeats and error messages. So now let's begin. So that this is our code. So first, if we run our code without any parameter, it will tell us to set up a heartbeat frequency. So we set up the frequency to be 3. That means 3 seconds, and we run the code. So at this time, it says that server 1 is running and server 2 is running. And you can see that the heartbeat is 3 seconds. So every 3 seconds, it will have a feedback to say that server 1 and server 2 are running. And now we can test that here. If we click run, it will have this, so that we have randomized the number, first number and second number, and also the plus of these two. And also we can run again. We can see that we have a different random number here. So that means that this website is actually working. And we can see from this console is that it will have these informations to say that we have do a post. So here, the server 1 is server 2 and running. So actually, we deployment these servers here. So as you can see that actually this is server 1. So here we run this server. So this server is run on this Amazon EC2 instance, and this instance with a port 6000. So each time it will have this GET request because we have this heartbeat, and sometimes we get this post request. So this post request is because it's received a running code post request from server. It's because we just click on the run button. So this is our server 1, and also this is our server 2. So for the server 2, we can notice that this server only have the GET request for now. As you can see that from here, it's always GET request without post request, because this is our server 2 and this is a replication. So that means if the server 1, this one is running, so the server 2 will not do anything. It just record the log and the checkpoint, but it doesn't receive the post request. So now let's try to terminate this server 2. Okay, so we can notice here that after we terminate server 2, it says server 2 is dead. Server 1 is still running. Okay, so we start this one again. We can notice that immediately here shows that server 1 is running and server 2 is running again. So this is like kind of recovery. And what happens if we terminate server 1? So we terminate server 1, and here it says server 1 is dead and server 2 is running. So now let's test our website again. Run. Yeah, so as we can see, the website always running. That is because even if server 1 is dead, server 2 is still running. So server 1 here is dead. But server 2 here, yeah, we notice that here is a post request because server 1 is dead. Now the replication, the server 2 becomes the main server. So it can receive the post request. We can check that. We click this one. So we run a code again. So here we can expect to see another post request. Yes. So that means server 2 is not actually working. So what if server 1 and 2 both failed? So now we can see that server 1 is dead and server 2 is also dead. So at this time, if we go to the console and run again, because two servers are all dead, so it will show this error message that, sorry, both servers are not working right now. Please try again later. And also, so this is a part that we can have the our customized heartbeat rate with the error examining mechanism and also the recovery mechanism. So now let's try to start both the servers again. And now the next thing is that we are going to check this one. The checkpointing with state persisted consistently and recovered. So this one, we need a data center to store the checkpoint and the log information. So let's show this data center. So this instance is a instance of the data center. So we can check here that the data center have two file. One is the info. So this is actually the log file. This one is a checkpoint JSON. This one is a checkpoint file. So we can have a look at the checkpoint file. It's that the count is 5. So that means up to now, all of the counts are 5. And the checkpoint file means that before the latest checkpoint, we have already record 5 runs. And the latest one is the timestamp is this one. So we are going to remember this timestamp so that after we set an interval for the checkpoint, for example, we set the interval to be like 3 seconds. So after every 3 seconds, we will update the number of this checkpoint. So that's why we need this. Okay, let's try to run this again. So we run this again, and then let's do multiple times. Yeah, so we can notice that we run multiple times, and then we will go back to the data center. So here, the data center becomes that the count is 10, the checkpoint is 7. So these two numbers are different because this count is the actual count that each time we run our code, the count will +1. But the checkpoint is that we have an interval. So that means in between of the intervals, if we did not update the checkpoint after 3 seconds, so actually the checkpoint remains 7 because the additional 3 counts of the running our code is after the last checkpoint time. So if we would like to have a more clear understanding of that, we can run this again. And we go to check this again. So this time the count is 11. That is because the last time we have 10 and +1 time it is 11. The checkpoint becomes 11 again because it successfully goes beyond another time interval and it reaches the latest number. So this part of the checkpoint, it actually works. So now let's go to the servers. So here we have our servers. and we can find that on our servers we have this data center folder. So this folder is actually the same folder that connects with this data center instance. So that means that every time this data center has changed, then the changes will be mirrored to this folder on the server. So this implements the update of the checkpoints and the log. So if we check the checkpoint file here, we will notice that this is also count 11 and checkpoint 11. These two, this is also like the same as the file we just noticed on the data center one. Yeah, exactly the same. So now, what about to check the checkpoint file on another server? So on this one, we can notice that the count and checkpoint are also both 11. So that means that on these two servers, they are identical with the data center. So if we run again and we check this one, so it becomes 12. We check this one, it's 12. We check this one, it's 12 again. So that means each time we run our code once, there is a new request, and it will record the new request to the data center, and the data center will mirror the file, the log file and the checkpoint file to different servers. That is these two servers. So let's try this. So we run again, and then actually we are going to the server one, and we stop server one, and then we run again. It is a success. We go to this server one. So at this time, because the session, actually the session is this one. So this one is a SSHFS session. So this session is also always working. So that means that each time there is an update on the data center, the data center will use this session to update the checkpoint file and the log file to the different servers. So at this time, the server 2 is still running. So this is server 2, and we can notice this is the post that we just made. So we are going to check the log file of the server 2. So this is 14 and 14. So this is the newest checkpoint and log information. So we have finished the checkpointing with states of this and recovered. And so the last one is the consecutive multiple false and multiple recovery actions with different checkpointing and heartbeat rates. So that is like actually part of our part of the things that we showed just now, because we can see that we have done so many, like to terminate server 1, and also we terminate like both the server 1 and server 2. So these are always like a multiple fault and also the multiple recovery actions. So basically, we implement all the basic rules. And for this extra credit, our team is working on the log file because the checkpoint file only record the checkpoints before some specific time, but the log file is updated each second. So actually, we have this log file. So we